The following is an education and outreach program of the American Hotel and Lodging Association, created by its affiliate, the California Hotel and Lodging Association Educational Foundation. Major funding for the program was provided by the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Foundation, the American Express Foundation, and the California Hotel and Lodging Association Educational Foundation.
One of the highlights of my Senate career was assisting in crafting and passing the Americans with Disabilities Act to protect the rights of disabled Americans and to help them live the fullest lives possible. One provision of the law requires hotels, motels, restaurants, and other public places to accommodate disabled guests who arrive with service animals. And these specially trained animals enrich the lives of many disabled Americans by performing vital tasks that increase their owners' safety, mobility, and their independence. So please take time to learn more about these special animals and the owners who depend on them.
May I help you?
Yes, I'm here for a dinner.
You want to eat in the restaurant?
Yes.
With the dog?
Is that a problem?
Yes, it is, sir. I'm sorry. I can't allow the dog in the restaurant.
Why is that?
Well, it's a restaurant. We serve food here. And we have lots of other customers. I can't allow a dog in the restaurant. There are health codes, ordinances, laws.
Ellie is a service dog, and she's been trained to help me as a person living with a disability.
I understand. I'm sure she's a great help to you. But there are a lot of people in the restaurant, some of whom may be allergic to animals. There are children in the restaurant. You know how children love to play with dogs. It'll be a disturbance. We have lots of people who come in trying to bring their pets.
She's not a pet. Ellie is a service dog.
Sir, I'm sorry. We don't allow animals in the restaurant.
The law allows me to bring my dog with me everywhere I go.
There are many laws, sir.
We have a legal right
codes.
to be here. And I could get really excited about this and say, hey, wait a minute, this is the law, and I don't want to have to do that.
Well, it's either you get excited or my boss gets excited. And if I let a dog in the restaurant, that's who I'm going to have to deal with.
I'm very disappointed to hear you say that or take that position.
I'm sorry,
because
sir.
The law allows...
You cannot bring your dog into the restaurant.
I'll call the police right now.
That's fine. If that's what you'd like to do, you're more than welcome to call the police. There's a payphone right around the corner.
At some point, you may be called to intervene in a dispute between a disabled person with a service animal and a hotel, motel, or restaurant operator who's refusing to provide service. You'll need to know the law and understand the important role service animals play in the lives of many disabled persons. Unlike pets, service animals are specially trained to perform specific tasks that help increase their owners' mobility, independence, and safety. When interacting with a disabled person and their animal, treat them like anyone else, with the same rights and responsibilities. The rights of disabled Americans and their service animals are protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act and by other local laws against discrimination that may exist in your jurisdiction. The ADA specifically prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities and requires hotels, motels, restaurants, and other public places to accommodate disabled persons who rely on service animals for assistance. Under the law, disabled persons with service animals are guaranteed the very same rights as all other Americans, with the same access to dining areas, swimming pools, transportation, exercise rooms, and any other areas where the public is normally allowed. While most service animals are dogs, monkeys and other animals are sometimes used.
Sir, I've got to ask you to move out of the way. You're blocking the entrance to the restaurant.
Hi, I'm Officer Fleming, and this is my partner, Officer Walker.
Well, this gentleman came into the restaurant wanting to be seated, and he has a dog.
Okay.
I can't let a dog into the restaurant.
When you arrive at a call, remember, emotions may be running high, so you'll need to use your best conflict resolution techniques to cool everybody down. You'll also need to determine if the disabled person is actually disabled. But this can be challenging. Some disabilities, like hearing loss, seizure disorder, and psychiatric conditions, are invisible and not readily apparent. What's more, the Americans with Disabilities Act specifically prohibits you from asking the person to prove that he or she is disabled, or to prove that his or her animal has been trained to provide assistance. But there are things you can do. First, notice if the animal is wearing a special harness, leash, or colored vest, identifying it as a service animal. But remember, these items aren't always worn, and they're not required by law. Second, ask if the animal is a pet, because service animals are not considered pets by the people who use them. Third, ask what kind of assistance the animal provides and how it helps the owner. But don't forget, the law prevents you from asking for proof of disability. The owner may show you a special license, dog tag, or training certificate, but these aren't always used, and they're not required under the law. If the person claims the animal is needed to provide assistance because of a disability, the law requires the hotel, motel, or restaurant to accommodate both the owner and the animal. You'll need to make sure the business operator understands that denying access to a disabled person with a service animal may be a violation of federal, state, or local law, and that they could be exposing themselves to serious and costly penalties. Your department should have a policy on how to process this type of incident. Under the law, guests with service animals cannot be restricted to certain rooms, floors, or tables, nor can they be charged an additional fee or cleaning deposit when they register. But, like any other guest, they can be billed for any damage caused by them or their animals, which is highly unlikely because service animals are clean, healthy, and carefully trained. The only time a service animal can be ejected is if it's being aggressive, unsafe, or disruptive by barking or threatening employees or other guests. But be sure to check to see if someone is provoking the animal. You should also explain to the business operator that service animals are not pets. That's why the law allows them in areas where pets are typically barred. No pet policies do not apply to service animals. When you respond to a call regarding a service animal, do not touch, pet, or feed the animal without permission, and don't distract it. Remember, service animals are not pets. They're working. By knowing the law and by understanding the important role service animals play in the lives of many disabled persons, you'll be able to diffuse a difficult situation so everyone can get back to business.
This video is not intended as legal advice. Jurisdictions should consult their legal advisors regarding the applicability of federal, state, or local laws in their particular areas.